Hey, once again, it's Shane here with One Shift at a Time. How are you doing? We're back. It's week 11 of the NFL Power Rankings. 10 weeks in the books, and things are just as crazy as ever. Can't believe this weekend, though, we had some freaking amazing games. 2 games in particular. We're going to get into those as well as all the other news of the week, I'm sure. We're going to start at number 10. We got the Dallas Cowboys. They're down 4 spots. They're 6-3, third in the NFC East, and they did have that tough loss to the Packers there. Definitely some questionable play calling by McCarthy there at the end. Not kicking the field goal in overtime, which allowed the Green Bay to come down and just win by kicking a field goal. It was very strange. Dak still has not had a great game, has not looked great since he's been back, and they take on the Vikings on Sunday, so that's going to be a tough one. Number 9, we got the New York Jets, and what a season. They're back in the top 10. They're 6-3, second in the AFC East. This is the 3rd time this year that they've been in the top 10, surprisingly, so well off. They're back on to a bye week this week, but they're fresh off that huge win on the Bills, so they're going to take on the Patriots this Sunday morning. So, sorry, they had the bye week last week. Take the Patriots on this week. Number 8, we got the Tennessee Titans. They're still holding in here. They're in the same spot as they were last week. They're 6-3, first in the AFC South. That 6-3 still this week is a huge number. A lot of teams are 6-3. They looked really good in that game versus Kansas City, but this week versus the Broncos, not so much. They do head to Lambeau Field this Thursday night. I'm really hoping for our first snow game of the season. There was a bit of snow in Buffalo. I was cheering for it to actually stay on the ground, but Lambeau, hey, come on, bring that snow on. Number 7, speaking of those Buffalo Bills, they're also 6-3. Third in the AFC East after dropping another one this week. They dropped 3 spots. They dropped their 2nd game in a row, which is just kind of crazy for them. That fumble in the end zone, though, that just is unforgivable. They had the game won at that point, and then they gave it away. Gave the Vikings hope, and they were able to bounce back. So let's see if the Bills can also bounce back as they take on the Cleveland Browns. Number 6, the Baltimore Ravens. Also, what do you know, 6-3. First in the AFC North, and they're riding a 3-game winning streak. They really dominated the New Orleans Saints there. The addition of Roquan Smith was huge. So they're going to take on the Carolina Panthers on Sunday in the morning. Speaking of the Carolina Panthers, what the heck was that with Baker Mayfield? He's headbutting guys coming off the field. I'm not talking about light headbutts. He was going hard, so hopefully everything's okay with that guy. Number 5, we have the 7-2 New York Giants. They're 2nd in the NFC East, and they had a good bounce-back win over the Texans, and they have a very winnable game coming up against the Detroit Lions. Saquon Barkley, he's leading the way. He's leading the way. He's got the 2nd most carries in the NFL at 198, and he's got the most yards at 931, so just a beast there. Number 4, we got the Miami Dolphins. They're also 7-3, first in the AFC East, and they're on a 4-game winning streak as well. So they've definitely beat teams they needed to beat, and they're not beating the world-beaten teams here, but they did what they needed to do, and they can continue to control their destiny as they take on the Texans Sunday. And to us, it's still in that MVP conversation. I think Josh Allen is maybe dropped out of it. I think we're down to maybe 3 quarterbacks. I'd say Jalen Hurts, Tua, and probably Mahomes left in the conversation. Number 3, the Philadelphia Eagles, 8-1, first in the NFC East, and they were finally knocked off their perch. Jalen Hurts, as we talked about, is also in that MVP conversation. That loss to the Commanders definitely hurt. That missed face mask call on the final drive did hurt, but I mean, they got the ball back a couple times after that, and they were not able to string anything together. So I'm not going to say that's what cost them the game, but the refs definitely need to catch that. They're going to take on the Colts on Saturday, who are actually quite surprising, winning their first game under new coach Saturday there. So number 2, we got the Kansas City Chiefs. They're 7-2. They're first in the AFC West, 3 wins in a row. Again, against weaker squads, but what the schedule dictates is what you play, and they're winning the games that they're playing. They're facing the Titans, the Jags, and the Chargers recently, so all very easy wins. And The defense is really stepping up, and they're turning into a well-rounded team. So this is going to be a scary team come playoff team, and that's going to bring us to number 1, the Minnesota Vikings. Never before have they been here. Congratulations to them. They 8-1, first in the NFC North, fresh off that huge 17-point deficit comeback over the Buffalo Bills, which is one of the best teams in the league. So the argument that they've had a weak schedule is now not so valid. So they're going to look to take on the Cowboys on Sunday. That's going to be a great game. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments below your top 10. Like this thing, share it around, and as always, we'll see you guys in the next episode.